Here are a couple things you can do with strings in PHP. I'm going to run through strings character by character and show you how to do lower and uppercase, show you how to pick parts of a string out of a string, find them in a string, and how to trim the edges, etc. So I've prepared a little example here where we have an array of 3 plays, and then we run through the plays and we call a function called fancy print. In the fancy print, at the current moment, we just print the play that comes, and so we see how this works here. It just displays them as expected. What I'm going to do now is run through each character in each play title. The play title arrives in the function as the variable line. So I'm going to say here string length of line -1 increment. So now we have x as starting with 0. It's going to go until the length of the string -1 because arrays start with 0, and increment x here. I'll define inside the loop the individual character by going into the line at position x, which is changing every loop. So now I have the character, and now I'm just going to print it out. So character. We'll put a space between each character to give it a kind of fancy printing here. So you'll notice that I am adding to the R variable. In string functions, I often do that. At the beginning, I say define R as an empty string. R stands for return. That's what we're going to return at the end. So as we go through the string here that is sent, or line, it gets each character and prints the character with a space after it. So let's see how that looks. Save with Control S, and we see that it puts space between them. We also need to add, after we create the string, add to the returning variable the HTML break. So the reason why the spaces between the words aren't there is because we're displaying in HTML. We actually need to display HTML non-breaking space. There we go. And that is the effect that we wanted. So you see how we can, with the for next loop, treat a string as an array and go through each of its characters. We can also make each of the characters uppercase with string to upper. See how that looks. We also have string to lower. Has a better design. Other useful functions are functions which find characters inside the string. Let's go ahead and do that here. So at this point, play is defined as each of these. So what we'll do is find, for instance, the first A in the string with string position. The haystack is play. The needle that we're looking for is A. So let's see what that gives us. So here it says that the first A it found was at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct. Here the first A is non-existent, and here the first A was at 1, 0, 1. That's correct. If you want to find the last occurrence of a character, for instance, the last A, then you want to use this here. Or let's see what that looks like. The first A is at 5, and the last A is at 8. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, correct? 6, 7, 8, correct? Here there are no A's. Here there is only one A. It didn't get the A umlaut, which is correct. So 1 and 1 is correct. strpos, string pause, and string rpause look for, or are case sensitive. So if there was a large A, it would not work. Let me show you an example of that. We'll look for T's this time. So we have, for example, first T, last T. Look for the T, look for the T. Same thing. Let's see what that says. So, first T is at 4. Let's actually change this here. So we have the correct capitalization. There we go. So it's saying that the first T is at 4. There's a T at position 0. Why didn't it get it? Because it's case sensitive. Let me show you how to change that. Change all these to I. The I, as in regular expression notation, stands for case insensitive. We run it. And it says here that the first t is actually at 0, and the last t is at 4, which is correct, since we want to find any t, large or small. The last thing I want to show you about string functions that I find useful here is how to get parts of a string out if you know the position that they're in. For instance, let's say we have a show time of a play in MySQL date format. So it'll be on the 15th of December at 8:30. Okay, now let's say we want to get the year out of here. Echo year is substring. Showtime, it's showtime, 0 to 4. And our little break. So what we're saying here is start at position 0 and go 4 characters. Control S to save. Let's look at that. And it does pull the year out of there. If you want to get something out of the middle of the string, like let's say we want to get the short time notation, just 2030, for instance. Short time is, let's see, we'll have to count here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Start at 11 and go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that should pull the time out without the seconds. And it does. And an interesting feature of substring is that you can put in negative values. For instance, let's say you want to get the full time. We can start here from the right. Full time, substring, minus, here I'll just show you, -1 and go 1. What does that do? It just gives a 0. So we can change it to 2. We get the seconds. You get the idea. How many do we need? 6, 7, 8. Change it to -8 and 8. And we get the 8 rightmost characters.